This week, the family of the 9 victims killed in the Sandy Hook Elementary School shooting in 2012 agreed to settle a lawsuit against the company that made the gun. Remington will pay the families $73 million. And here to talk about this significant settlement is our 9 News legal expert, Whitney Traylor. Whitney, good morning.
Hey, good morning, Natasha. Good morning, everyone.
So the settlement comes more than 7 years after the families first filed a wrongful death lawsuit against Remington. Why has it taken so long to reach this settlement?
Well, this is a difficult case, and obviously suing gun manufacturers and gun distributors has been a difficult issue. What really made this so complex is a 2005 federal law that Congress passed that basically said gun manufacturers are not liable for crimes that are committed with their weapons. What was unique about this case was that they sued not under the federal law, they sued under a state law in Connecticut that said their advertising violated Connecticut state law because it promoted and advertised dangerous and violent conduct. That's why the case then, it was appealed up and down. It went from state to federal court. And when the defendants, when Remington realized that they were going to go forward, that the case was going to go to trial, that's when the settlement ultimately came forward.
You know, when we talk about gun rights issue, why is this settlement so significant?
Well, it's significant because there just has not been a settlement before. The gun manufacturers have really relied on this 2005 law, this federal law that says they won't be liable except in very limited circumstances. Why this is unique is because, again, they focused on the advertising. And what they alleged was that they focused on young 20-year-old males. And so they were placing their ads in violent video games and other places, and they were really promoting this sort of lone wolf mentality. And so they touted some of their guns as being able to kill other human beings. A single individual is able to outnumber opponents and force them to bow down. They said, consider your man card reissued. So all of these things is what the case centered around. And so that now may open the door for other lawsuits with state statutes that are similar to that.
Yeah, I remember the advertisements for the man card reissue in that case too. Let's talk about the precedent that this case might set. So what kind of precedent does this case set for future cases? And should we expect a lot more litigation in this area?
I think we are going to see a lot more litigation because this was a case, the Connecticut Supreme Court said that, yes, the state law, this advertising law kind of preempted the federal law, if you will. So now I think you're going to see lawsuits if there's another mass shooting in other states that have this kind of law prohibiting this kind of advertising. I think you're going to see lawsuits across the nation focusing on the advertising. I think we might see other legislatures actually modifying their state laws to include that. And ultimately, I think the U.S. Supreme Court is going to have to hear this specific issue and rule on it, because I think there's going to be a lot of litigation surrounding the advertising. And a lot of folks who are against gun violence and against, gun manufacturers or whatever, are saying that the focus, the national dialogue should be on the marketing, because we know marketing works, and the mass shooters are essentially the same demographic, those who are allegedly being targeted, the young 20-year-old men.
Yeah. All right, Whitney, we'll appreciate you coming on and talking about this settlement.